So my favorite person to walk the planet that I have ever met in real life, but just my favorite person, happens to be born 11/22/88. And 11/22, November 22nd, happens to be the anniversary of John F. Kennedy's assassination. So I studied John F. Kennedy because he's my favorite president, because he was the president who sees eye to eye with me on faith and morals. He was a Catholic. He belonged to the Knights of Columbus, which uses the fasces as its religious symbol. The fasces is where the word fascism comes from. And the symbol for the fascist party was a fascis. And that's the symbol for the Knights of Columbus that John F. Kennedy belonged to. And he was assassinated that day. And so I was studying John, and his name is Jack, and his wife's name is Jackie, which I learned is an alternative for Jacob. And Mussolini means Jacob. And Rachel Mussolini has my birthday, April 11th. And I realized, oh my God, because my last name, James, is a feminine alternative for John, which is Jack. And Jack is an alternative for Jacob. John and Jack are all alternatives for each other, alternatives for Jacob, the husband of Rachel and Leah in the Old Testament, and Mussolini, Jacob, married Rachel, who has my birthday. Very interesting coincidence, but it caused me to enshrine Jackie Kennedy on Christmas, which is the birthday of Dionysus. A few days later, on January 1st, the birthday of Denise, which means Dionysus, Naslund. The name Denise means Dionysus, and I celebrate it. The day, January 1st, 1974, her final birthday of Denise, was when both of Rachel Mussolini's books came out. The one with my birthday, my favorite author, that set me on fire. Those books came out January 1st when this phone shows up that says Jackie on it. And Jackie means Jacob, the husband of Rachel, and Mussolini was the husband of Rachel, and his name means Jacob. And my last name means Jacob as well, the husband of Rachel and Leah. And so as a result of somebody with the birthday 11/22/88, I wind up sober, which is why I cannot thank that person enough for helping me so much. And I love that person tremendously for raising my moral standards, for keeping me sober, for installing in me virtues and helping me be a better person. And so I wound up in Huss Recovery Center as a result of that person, which is a treatment center not too far from St. Olave's Church. And St. Olave's Church has a plaque to John F. Kennedy, where John F. Kennedy visited. And at the pew where John F. Kennedy knelt for Mass, there is a plaque in John F. Kennedy's honor. And so December 25th is the birthday of Dionysus. January 1st is the birthday of Denise, which means Dionysus. And Dionysus is associated with leopard skin. The last time I was arrested was May 11th, and I called the 11th of every month Philomena Day. And I associated Philomena with leopard skin because I saw a girl about Philomena's age when she was martyred wearing leopard skin next to an anchor. And an anchor is a symbol for Philomena. So I looked up Philomena, and while I was praying to Philomena, I saw a lady in front of me wearing a leopard skin bra on the way to Mass. I got to church and the priest announced, "It is the feast of St. John Vianney." St. John Vianney blamed all of his miracles on St. Philomena. And St. Philomena did not work her first miracle until 1500 years after her death. So she's an amazing saint, and she's my favorite saint. And I got released from jail on August the 11th, Feast of St. Philomena. That's the official Feast of St. Philomena, but I called the 11th of every month Philomena Day. And birthday 11/22/88, they're all digits of 11, I find out later, recently actually, and I linked the number 11 to Philomena. Well, 12/25, I enshrine Jackie, which means Jacob, the husband of Rachel and Leah. And then January 1st, when Rachel Mussolini's books came out, the spouse of Jacob, the spouse of Mussolini, the anniversary of her two books coming out, the Jackie K phone shows up in a locked security hallway. Only the landlord could have gotten in, or someone with a key, and they delivered the phone to the wrong address because that security hallway is shared with an apartment that's vacant. And so it's a total and complete paranormal phenomenon. And that's what I love about the person who shares that birthday, that is anniversary of JFK's assassination, is the amount of paranormal events that she causes to happen in my life. And all the moral standards and the higher quality of life, and that I want to be a better person as a result of meeting that person. And I want to change, and I want to be a more virtuous man, and I want to be honest and have integrity. And I don't want to be a thief. I don't want to be dishonest. I don't want to be a drug addict, all thanks to that wonderful human being. And so, but back to Philomena. So I linked her to leopard skin because somebody mailed me a leopard. No, they didn't mail that to me. Somebody mailed me a St. Philomena cord. And when I went out to the mailbox to grab the St. Philomena cord, I didn't know that was in the mail. I returned, and on my porch in front of my apartment is a box of baking soda next to a bag of leopard honey nutritional supplement, and the bag is leopard skin colored. And with the St. Philomena cord is Hindu prayer beads that have the Leo symbol. And the Leo is the beginning of the word leopard, Leo. And it seems like a lot of dots are connecting. Why would I enshrine Jackie on December 25th, last year, December 25th of 2021, and then on January 5th, 1st, 2022, anniversary of Rachel Mussolini's books coming out, birthday of Denise, another birthday of a Dionysus. There's the birthday of Dionysus, December 25th, and then there's the birthday of Denise, Dionysus, female Dionysus, in my opinion. And her middle name is Mary. Denise, her middle name is Mary, Marie, actually, which is French for Mary, and it was the feast of the Mother of God, January 1st, a very holy day, and I'm very devoted to the Mother of God. So these are just a few remarkable coincidences, and I got released from jail on the actual feast of St. Philomena, and the man who filled out the paperwork next to me was being released with me. Okay, and that man, he had my birthday when I noticed the paperwork, April 11th. I said, that's Rachel Mussolini's birthday. It's also the birthday of Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, the author of the book, The Bible of Satan, or the Satanic Bible, which I don't want anything to do with him or darkness or evil. I want to be a good man. Also, when I was in jail, I cannot thank the person who called the police on me and sent me to jail, because something very remarkable happened. The nurse handed me and my cellmate 6 crackers, unleavened bread, and said, I'm not supposed to do this. My Bible was open to the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The Israelites ate unleavened bread before they were released from bondage in Egypt. And I turned to my cellmate Raven and I said, Raven, maybe one of us is going to be released tomorrow, and this is our Feast of Unleavened Bread. The next day I was released on my own recognizance, and he was bailed out. It was very, very fascinating. We looked at each other and said, it doesn't even sound like a true story. Well, his name is Raven, and I happened to pray to this suicide named Raven Stevens, and the trays tipped over. A few of the trays in jail tipped over, and they ordered new trays, and I got to eat double or triple what I normally would eat. I returned to my cell, and I found a paper that it was a prayer to the prophet Elijah, who was fed by a raven. I said, I'd like to be fed by a raven someday. And it dawned on me through an interlocution that maybe the soul of Raven Stevens caused that to happen to feed me, and I was fed by a raven. So I contacted the mother of this suicide, and I wrote her a letter while I was in jail, and then I contacted her by phone, and she wept tears of joy, and she said, Matthew, you have helped with the grieving process more than immediate family. I cannot thank you enough. And she wrote me a letter and said, I pray to Raven every day and believe his soul is in heaven as a result of you, Matthew. Which means as a result of me going to jail on Philomena Day, and as a result of me going to jail and getting released on the Feast of St. Philomena over someone with, it was meant to be almost. It was an ugly thing, but it brought so much good out of it. It consoled the mother of a suicide who someone told me she's unconsolable, Matthew. And it got me sober. And it got me to go to Hust Recovery Center next to St. Olive's Church with a big plaque to John F. Kennedy, and I met the coolest counselor. His name was Leon, actually, which is a name for lion. And my alternative for Matthew is a name which is, it's Levi is an alternative for Matthew. In the Czech Republic, Levi means lion. And the spouse of Jacob in scripture is named Leah, but in Latin, that means lioness. Okay, but anyway, so many good things. I got to be sober as a result of that. And I had so much more to tell you, but it's escaping me. I was able to console that mother. She wrote me the letter. So I was able to do so many, sometimes when something really ugly happens, something very good can come forth from it. And these religious convictions that I have, that spirits can see the things I do in secret and reward or bless or consequence me for the good or bad that I do. It's what keeps me from killing myself. It's what keeps me from doing good deeds. And I stared at a picture of George Ann Hawkins last Easter, and I told George Ann Hawkins, I said, I'm going to buy my neighbor that car part, and I'm giving the money to you, George Ann Hawkins. I'm not giving the money to the neighbor so much as it's more an offering to you because I believe you can see and I want to make you happy. So I gave him the money for his car part, $179. I was working as a remodeler and I had some stimulus money. He was so delighted and gave me a hug. And I found out his last name is Hawkins. I just got done telling Georgianne Hawkins, I'm giving the money to you. And I give the money to Hawkins. I literally gave the money to Hawkins. It's amazing. And I don't know if all this stuff is anything more than coincidence. I believe some of it definitely is. And it makes me a better person. God bless you.